Hello there, and we are live. See how, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to, another episode. People, I've not been back for this show. This is the second week. Maybe we've been just for maybe 1 week or so. But again, people, it is what it is. Yeah, it's good to welcome back my brother, Dom from the Arsenal Domination, the channel, people. And it's a special day. Yeah, a special day where we get to, beat Chelsea in the second back-to-back derby that, the Arsenal will be playing in the Premier League last week. Remember, people, we played against Tottenham Hotspurs in a not London derby that, didn't really live up to expectations in terms of challenge from the other team. Yeah, and now they're battling relegation seriously. But today, there's a much bigger challenge in the London derby, hotly contested one from Chelsea and Rossiner. It is what it is. Arsenal wins 2-1. And people, I'm here with my brother, Dom, talk to us, man. How you doing, bro? Hope you're good.
Yeah, very well. Yes, busy couple of weeks at work, which is why we couldn't make diaries work. But what better day to talk to you than on St. Tottenham's Day? Tottenham officially unable to catch us in the league now with 9 games to go. It's never been done so early before. So, but as you say, look, big 3 points today. Not necessarily the best performance in the world, but a big 3 points, and that's all that matters right now. City obviously did the same yesterday with not their best performance either. And just got to keep winning at this point. So a good day from that point of view, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And you're welcome back to the channel, Arsenal Domination. See, Dominic, let's go
Oh, hang on. Am I in trouble? You called me by my full name.
Dominic, let's go back to yesterday. You saw that game, Leeds versus Manchester City yesterday. Did that look like a convincing win for you? Because it's easier. Just before we jump into this Chelsea stuff, it's easy to say, "Hey, Arsenal looks, jittery. We're not really killing these games. We look afraid. We look timid at times. We're not keeping ball possession." But I look at that game against Manchester City, and I'm seeing almost the same kind of performance. Not a totally dominating performance by Manchester City. They shared the possession of the ball with Leeds, at Ellen Road, which is a very difficult place to go to. But Arsenal went down there and pummeled them by 4 goals. Wasn't the same thing for Manchester City. Maybe it was rough. Maybe some other teams do well against some other teams, but that wasn't a blowout, a pause from Manchester City. They struggled at times, struggled for possession at times. They were caught napping in transitions and in quick breaks. If Calvin Lewin was more of a killer in front of goal, he would have converted like 2 to 3 chances yesterday. But what would you like to characterize that win of Manchester City yesterday? Was it a great one, a great performance for you, or was it just about 3 points for them?
Ultimately they get 3 points, same as us. We're sponsored by 3. The mobile phone.
Sorry, that's someone. Yeah.
That's all right. No way. I was going to say, look, ultimately, same as us, isn't it? You get the 3 points. That's all that really matters. No one at the end of the season asks, did you dominate every game or did you scrape them? Ultimately, if you're going to win the league, you can't scrape too many games, because your luck will run out at some point. But ultimately, City got there. But you're absolutely right. It's what I've been saying all season. This is a league where I don't think the quality of, say, 2 or 3 years ago is there, but it is arguably more competitive because you can close out the quality gap by being really, really defensively solid, really robust at the back, and fill those areas and make it difficult for teams, and you nullify the quality gap. And we are seeing that. But I think the big thing for me with City, in terms of their vulnerability, is
Mm.
certainly that defensive ability in transition.
Big up Aces. Big up to Nia
Oh,
Kane.
hang
Big up to
on,
my Chronicle.
just for Niall, shall I just say hello? It sounds very Scottish every time I do it, but but they are weak in transition. They are weak defensively still. They can be got at, and you're absolutely right. On another day, Calvert-Lewin gets 3 goals, and that's a very, very different game. It ultimately wasn't City get the win. Arsenal, on the other hand, I think you can say it's our ability to be clinical in front of goal, and we saw that today. So you could see both sides' vulnerabilities in the games this weekend, and that's what makes this so intriguing on all the way. But there is pressure on both sides. City aren't the side of where they were a few years ago, but they have got players in there that have won the title with City and a manager that's obviously done it. But there's also the pressure on them to try it. They can't go trophyless 2 years running. From our point of view, we haven't won anything in a long time and don't necessarily have a load of people here that know how to see out and win leagues, including the manager. So I think it's going to be a fascinating end to the season.
Definitely. See, big up to Nia Kane. He says you don't have the answers. Big up to Nia. Where have you been, man? Hope you're good. Nia Kane, I hope you're good. But big up to you. Big ups to you. And of course, the Macronicle is down here chopping it up with us. Dominic, Arsenal win today. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. I mean, it is what it is. Second London derby on the bounce. Arsenal win, 3 points on the board. This is where we want to be at this point, yeah. Go into your home games, even if it's a not London derby, hotly contested one. Go in it and win it, 3 points. And I have something for you. Set piece again, ole ole. Set piece, ole ole.
But by the way, just really quickly on this, I'm really interested. I'm really interested in your view on this, right? Yesterday, Liverpool, I think, became the top scorers in 2026 from set pieces. We may now have overtaken them, right? But I don't know if you saw the reaction to this, right? The reaction was Liverpool set pieces can get them right back in, right back into the Champions League hunt, can see them into the Champions League. I haven't looked, but I would guarantee you Arsenal can only win when they score set pieces. Why is it different? I genuinely don't understand. I don't know if you've got a view on that, but
I mean, Dom, yeah. I mean, I've been saying this year right from the start. The agenda, yeah, over Arsenal by all these other rival teams, yeah. They never want to say something objectively, yeah. But when looking at Arsenal, with Liverpool, it's okay. Well, they're mixing it up. They're mixing it up with open play goals. Hey, hello, Arsenal. I've been mixing it up with open play goals all season.
We're second for open play goals this season.
Exactly, bro. Where are the accolades for Arsenal? So, man, I mean, again, I don't really care. Yeah, those narratives.
No, I don't either.
Me. Yeah, what I care about is getting the 3 points, and what I care about is using our weapons of mass destruction. What is what I call our set pieces, weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, and it struck twice today. Set piece again. Set piece again.
Well, we scored all 3 from set pieces, didn't we?
Exactly, bro.
But
tell us about today's matchup, my bro.
Here's another one on the Arsenal agenda, and we can get to it later. But I've got people messaging me, right, genuinely in my timeline, like DMs, but on my phone, going, "Well, Chelsea should have had a penalty." All right, but what about the identical on Raya? Well, it wasn't given. Well, sorry, but nor was the Rice one, Saliba one. Yeah, but it was a penalty. How we? So what? Yeah, again, it's just that anti-Arsenal stuff. Like, be objective about it. They're either both penalties or they're not both penalties. I don't care which one you want, but you can't have one as and one not. But anyway, by the by, look, thoughts on the game, really. Very scrappy game. Really, really scrappy game all round. On this one, Arsenal short on quality. I think Chelsea were too. Ultimately, it was sort of a bit of sort of an error-strewn game from both sides. Robert Sanchez sort of categorising it really from a Chelsea perspective. Every time he got the ball at his feet, you kind of thought something might happen from an Arsenal perspective because Sanchez was that bad. But it was a set piece game in the end. Arsenal. I don't necessarily think they deserved the lead, to be honest with you. I think it could have gone either way, but they got the goal from the set pieces you were rightly just singing about there. And after that, actually, I thought Arsenal started to cause some issues. They started to create some chances, but that final ball, that final moment was really missing. And Arsenal did miss a chance to go 2 or 3 up that they could have done had they been more clinical, had they made a better decision in that final third. I thought our attackers were really off today, right the way across the board, to be honest, with you. And then Chelsea get an equaliser, and that's always the thing you're risking when you fail to put these chances away. And Arsenal did fail to put it away tonight. As I mentioned earlier, I think Raya is fouled in the sort of build up to that save he makes from when it hits Rice and stuff. Raya is fouled in that, but as I say, it's not given. And they score from the other. From the resulting corner. Reece James, by the way, I thought his delivery today was really, really good. I have to give him some credit to that. And that was a momentum swinger. I actually was a bit concerned at that point because it's always a big time to score, and in a derby game as well. And Chelsea started that second half really brightly, but thankfully we killed it off with that Timber goal. And I think once Neto got sent off, I was relaxing, but probably a little prematurely because Chelsea obviously attacked really late. They get the disallowed goal, which was rightly disallowed. He's miles offside. Raya makes that big save, but ultimately, Arsenal winning the game, and that's all that matters. And probably a game we could have drawn on another day. And it is difficult when you're going second and you've got that pressure on you to respond. So from that point of view, I think Arsenal can be pleased, but not the best performance in the world. I don't know what your thoughts are on the game, but
I mean, I totally agree with you. I thought James was immense in today's game. I mean, there were some solid blocks he had defensively for Chelsea today, mostly with the barrage of Arsenal corner kicks, that came towards them. But again, when you look at the first goal, set piece, bro. I mean, our set pieces, dried up in a couple of games, and many people said that, hey, where are your set pieces? Where are the set piece goals? And we replied with 2. For those set pieces goals to return today, Dom, do we now have to start taking this set piece thing as a mainstay in our game? Is it the major way through which we win our games these days? Because some people are saying, hey, it's not sustainable. But when you look at the way we just conjured that magic, it came back today, 2 set-piece goals, ole, ole, ole.
Well, I think set-pieces are sustainable. Set-pieces are up significantly across the league this season. Set-piece goals, not just for us. Manchester United scored a lot of goals. Liverpool, I think I said earlier, I could be slightly wrong on the stat because I sort of read it in passing without really thinking a lot about it. But I think their top set piece goal scorers in 2026. Set pieces are here, and it is a reflection on the league. We've spoken about this before. The difference between Arsenal in the Premier League and the Champions League is very much categorised by where that defensive line is. But it's not just an Arsenal thing. Every team has a higher defensive line this season, including us, by the way, than last season, with the exception of Manchester United.
Yeah,
they're the only ones with a higher line than last season. Obviously, Spurs, you'd have thought would have Spurs you'd have thought would have a lower line, but even they have a lower line than last season. They had Ange as their manager. So when you've got 1 out of 20 sides, 17 sides, obviously, because the 3 promoted sides, it's a very different thing. They obviously were going to have a deeper line because they were flying high at the top of the Championship. They're now near the bottom of the Premier League. I mean, Sunderland were a bit higher, but you get my point, right? So I take them out of it. When only 1 of 17 sides has a higher defensive line than last season, it's considerable, by the way, how much deeper it is. Even our line, I think, is 1.5 meters deeper than last season, which isn't massive. But it's going to mean you have to find a different way to win because the space isn't there for you to counterattack into, to get in behind so much. So you have to find a different way. How do you do it? Set pieces. And the rules on protecting the goalkeeper, I have slightly loosened. We saw it today. I was referring to it earlier. Raya is clearly fouled for me in the build up to
Yeah.
the goal, the corner before the one they
Yeah, the
scored from.
corner, yeah.
But equally, if you're giving that as a foul, then you're giving the Rice Saliba one, because there's a lot of grappling in the area. You've got more of that. But, you know, in seasons gone by, sides were being penalised from an attacking point of view for that much more than they are now. It's getting to the point where maybe they're going to have to be penalised more again, because it is getting ridiculous. But right now they're not being, and that's fine. And as a result, you're seeing more set piece goals. So yes, I think it is sustainable until referees start clamping down on stuff in the area. But they're not going to, and at least they're relatively consistent with not giving it. So I'm not necessarily complaining, but
Yeah.
as a result, as I say, they're more sustainable for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I share that sentiment with you. See, yeah, Dom, yeah. That was a very, very nervy win, isn't it? I mean, when you look at perspectives into the game, yeah. I mean, Arsenal scoring first, Chelsea coming with that, equalizer, same thing, set piece again, yeah. And then you're saying, oh my God, it might be one of those kind of games where we would have to, uh, I mean, digging deep for a draw, and we'll just call it, hey, it's a London derby, it's Chelsea Football Club. We can walk on by with a 1 point. But I mean, yeah, when we managed to put in that second goal, yeah, I mean, it just looked nervy from that moment. The second half being a half that Chelsea started quite well, and kept putting up the pressure, breaking Arsenal's defensive structure not more than once, maybe thrice, 4 times or so. Delap broke in, Yao Pedro broke in, Chalobah had a header uh, uh, um, that set Pedro Neto up for something special. I mean, there was lots of times where Arsenal's high line was broken time and time again, and led to some couple of nervy moments in that matchup. Even a goal went into the net, into the Arsenal's net, but it was ruled off for offside. Is this what we're going to be seeing almost through out the remainder of the season? Arsenal's defense not really as airtight as we thought it was before.
I hope not, because I'd like to keep my hair. But what was I going to say? There's a possibility for sure that we see this. I think, we will see more nerves sort of kicking in from an Arsenal perspective, because it has been so long and there is so much pressure. I think it is going to be really important from an Arsenal perspective, I think, for us to go and try and win the League Cup. And I know that sounds a daft thing to say, but the reason for that being, it takes some of the lid off that pressure cooker about winning trophies. It's not necessarily the one you want to win. And I'm not, I'm not saying anything, that's, you do that, that's a season over, and, brilliant job done, boys. You can go. I think it can have the opposite effect, where you're not worrying about winning something because you want something, which I think could be really quite helpful. But I also think it's that thing here of, you can see that go the other way. Arsenal, if Arsenal's attack can start being more clinical, you can take some of the pressure off that defense. Chelsea had to come and attack today, and fair play to them. They did try and create chances.
Yeah.
I thought before he sort of went down off the ball, I thought Cole Palmer was really instrumental for him. That said, I also thought Mikel Arteta made a really clever change and got Gabriel to track him much more effectively, and that rather nullified him quite a lot. So I think credit to the manager for that one there. But if teams are still in it, they're going to attack that defense later on, and get chances. So Arsenal, I think, arguably, the issue isn't necessarily the defense. It is the other end of the pitch. We have to be more clinical. And if you do that, pressure is relieved at the end, because if it is nervous, that will seep into the crowd. It will seep into the players, because everyone just wants it so much. And that can sometimes be a bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah. And again, I also noticed that this was the game in the first half. Arsenal's game really, really, really relied on our fullbacks, mostly our fullbacks turning into wing backs, and both of them were in the game. I'm talking of Nkapi and Jurien Timber. Both of them just waves and waves and waves of encroachment into the opposition box. Crosses being set. Interchangeability between Bukayo Saka and Jurien Timber. Incapi also running and getting into more incendiary spaces in the opposition box. At the time in the first half, I did see Gabriel Magalhaes down the right hand side attacking the box of the opposition. I mean, it was crazy to just see that lease of life. Do you think Mikel Arteta kind of like looked at the game and said, you know what, yeah, let's manage the game a little bit more properly. You know, let's just watch our backs for now. Do you think the manager in any way kind of like mitigated the way you know, but mostly our fullbacks that I would like to call wing backs, actually flying wing backs, because these guys are, you know, I mean, they were just flying throughout the first half, but we never saw any of those kind of encroachments in the second half at all. It just went completely dry.
I think there was an element of that from Arteta, to be honest with you. I also think that was very much. Actually, I say that. No, scrap that. I think Mikel Arteta will have obviously wanted to say we need to rush Chelsea on the counter attack, but I actually think that was more of a circumstance of how the game was developing. Chelsea, I talked about the momentum with that Chelsea goal. And I think that really was important because I think that gave Chelsea belief. And Chelsea had to win this game as much as we did. You know, I'm just looking at the table now, which is what I was pulling up when I was talking about during the game. Because I meant to mention it at this point then. Chelsea are now finding themselves 6 points off fourth. Now, Villa are struggling, and Villa are, you know, are doing what I thought they would do. You know, when people are saying no, they're in the title race, like they're not in the title race. Like they're in a top four race. Like, you know, so Chelsea had to win this, so they had to come out a little bit more. So I think that automatically means your fullbacks are a little bit more defensive because you don't want to necessarily get into a basketball game. And what you actually want to do is almost invite Chelsea on a little bit more to try and get Gyökeres in behind to create more space. I think that was kind of the game plan. I don't think it was a defensive second half game plan. I think it was Chelsea are going to have to come at us. Let's let them do that because we know how deadly we can be on the counter with players in behind, particularly when Martinelli came on, which was the right substitution because Trossard was having an awful game. I said in the build-up I didn't want Trossard to start this game. Obviously, with Odegaard unavailable, you know, and Havertz not ready to start, that meant Eze it was obviously going to play centrally. But you know, and I liked the fact Martinelli was coming off the bench late. I thought that was tactically the right decision. So that automatically means Trossard had to start, but he was poor today. But you know, I think that was the game plan basically. Chelsea are going to have to come out, we sit a little bit deeper and try and hit on the counter attack. But it was a deliberate attacking strategy from that point of view rather than a defensive one. Now, a lot of people say it wasn't that. It was pure defensive. It's pure Mikel Arteta. He is a defensive manager, but I think you can be an attacking defensive manager, and I think that's what that was second half for me.
I mean, he showed that he could also be an attacking manager. I mean, in the 2022-2023 season, yeah. I mean, to just append that defensive manager signature might be a little bit harsh on him because I know he's been an offensive manager too. He can switch it up at times, but I mean, you just need the right personnel to execute the balance between being an attacking manager and being a defensive-minded one. But anyway, we scrap that, yeah.
But sorry, really quickly on that, because I think that's a really interesting point, because I think you're spot on. I would again say, if you go back to that flying season, what I call the Arteta's Jurgen Klopp season, that first title run, I think it was, again, very much that game state. Teams didn't fear us or think we were that good, so they gave a lot of space. It was also how the league kind of was then. Lots more space, lots more, you know, it's moved, so it's kind of gone cyclically back to, we're of a similar age, right? So we'll have remembered mid-90s football quite well. It's almost gone back to that sort of era, right? But I also think, I think it is fair to say he's a defensive manager, but the idea that he can't manage an attack is completely and utterly unfair. We've had record-breaking goal season outputs as a team under him. And therefore, you can't say, well, he can't coach an attack. When you look at that, what we are seeing is it being spread out a little bit more. But I think he is naturally a cautious, more defensive manager. But that doesn't mean, as you rightly say, he can't coach an attack. And if you look right now, you know, we are currently the top top scorers in the league.
Yeah.
Now, City have a game in hand, so they could overtake that with their game in hand. But either way, you're right up there.
Definitely. And I do agree with you on that one. the lineups today, especially someone who, of course, I mean, has a lot of influence. I mean, around the Emirates and in this team, our captain was totally not even in the match day squad today. That's point one. Uh, uh, what were the words you have for that today, man? And seeing Eze take up that number 10 position. And again, looking to that Aze's performance today, yeah, without any bias or whatever, even if I knew you wanted Eze to be there, I wanted Eze to be there. But objectively, just look into that performance today and just give us what you thought about Aze's performance today.
I mean, let's start with Odegaard, right? Because that was the sort of first point you made. I mean, I'm assuming that's injury related for this one, because
You
I
think
think
so?
I
Wait.
think so.
You think so?
Odegaard, yeah,
You think it's
Odegaard
an
missing.
injury? You don't
Yeah,
think it's maybe a manager thing? I mean, it's trying to reduce his influence in the team. It's trying to say, "Hey, man, you need to get out of the team." Well, at least with what we're hearing out there in the news.
well, I mean, a lot of the Arsenal sort of beat writers, usually US phrase, are saying that that's rubbish. Odegaard's happy at Arsenal. Arsenal are happy with Odegaard. I mean, they can't be happy with his performances,
Are you
but they're
serious, bro?
yeah, they are rubbishing these reports. You know, a lot of the Arsenal main ones. You're talking Simon Collins, Sam Dean,
Mm,
Tom Canton. Lots and lots of credible Arsenal reporters saying they are hearing nothing. You know, I don't think it's true that Arsenal will be happy with his performances this season.
mm,
And I think that will give them a stronger hand in contract negotiations. And I think if we are in a world where he is asking for the world at contract negotiations, I could see Arsenal moving him on. But I think this was injury related today. And look, Martin Odegaard has now been poor for 18 months or so, just over. Right. And a lot of that has been injury related, but not entirely. Martin Odegaard has not been at the level he was previously or at the level we want from him at all. But I think to leave him out of the matchday squad on such a crucial game when you're either picking the side after the Man City game, more likely before, because I think the sides will probably pick 20, 36, 48 hours before games in
mm.
reality, because you sort of trained for that. Sort of the last training session is built around that. So I think they knew he wasn't fit and they didn't want to take the risk with him. I think they thought it was either Kai Havertz or Martin Odegaard for this game based on fitness. This is pure speculation, by the way, on my part.
Yeah,
Like, I have no
yeah.
evidence for this. What I would say is that first part there about what Arsenal think about Martin Odegaard. Now, they could just be saying it, but so many credible Arsenal reporters are reporting it. And of course, why are you going to say, yeah, of course we're going to shop him because you just detract his value. So you have to
Yeah.
also put that pinch of salt in there. But I think if you have got two players in a similar position coming back from injury, then you're picking one or the other because you don't want two sort of doubts on the bench. And I think if we were in that world, Kai Havertz was the right choice for today because it's against his old club. We know how much he wants to score against Chelsea, etc., etc., etc. So that's the right choice. So I think it was injury related, to be honest with you, but I don't know. I haven't seen Mikel Arteta say anything about it after the game, so we'll see. But I think it was injury related. In terms of Ezra, I want to see him start because he played so well against Spurs. His confidence was up. And I thought he picked up some nice positions at times today, but his final ball and his decision making, very, very poor today.
Mm.
What I really wanted to see, and I wasn't expecting it, by the way, we got the front line I expected to see today, but what I actually really wanted to see today was Odegaard in a 10 for 60 minutes, if he was fit enough, which obviously I don't think he was, and that's why he wasn't picked, with Ezra out on the left for Trossard. I wanted Trossard left out of the side today, and we kind of saw why he's been poor for the last few weeks, to be honest with you. But it's been brighter when he's come off the bench, almost as if like it's the two fingers to the manager because he hates being on the bench, and he's kind of that player that plays best when he's feels that he's been wronged. But that's what I want to see was Ezra on the left and
When he's
Odegaard
being
on the 10.
wronged.
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
how he sees it. He's a chip on the
That was
shoulder
a good
player.
exception.
He's a chip on the shoulder player, right? So that's what I want to see. But obviously, I wasn't expecting it because I didn't know how fit Odegaard was going to be. But I think it's related. But Ezra poor today, but I still just think put him out on the left. If you've got Hincapié behind, you've got a bit of a safety blanket because he's a more defensive-minded fullback than Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Skelly. And that means that his biggest weakness is obviously his defensive work. he is improving in that area, but it protects him a little bit. Out on the left, most similar to where he was at Palace. I think he can do some damage there because he's got space and time. That for me, I thought him and Odegaard would be crucial to unlocking Chelsea today because they've got the clever little balls, etc., etc. But Odegaard's press, Chelsea try and play out from the back, and Odegaard's press is so vital that I think we saw Chelsea make a load of mistakes today doing that. Imagine if Odegaard was leading that press today, how many more we'd have seen?
Ooh, exactly. Because I mean, Odegaard will be on their necks all through, people. Yeah, he'll be on their necks all through with that hard pressing game. But again, it is what it is. Yeah. But again, do you feel Odegaard's influence diminishing in this team in any way? Are you buying into this? Odegaard will get sold off in the summer. Are you buying any of these stories?
No, I'm not. To be honest with you, I think if Arsenal got a monster offer for him, then I think anyone bar maybe 2 or 3 Arsenal would consider that offer. And I think the ones would be Saliba, Gabriel, Raya, Rice, Saka. That's probably it. So 5. I think so. That does diminish Odegaard's role in the team because if we said that 2 years ago, Odegaard's on that list of unsellables, right? And I think that sort of speaks of the quality the team's gone to and the fact that Odegaard has had a very difficult 18 months or so. He really has. I think Odegaard needs to get higher up the pitch. I think you get him higher up the pitch like he was a couple of years ago. He's more of an influence on the game. He's dropping himself too deep. And I think it is a decision by him, by the way, to go too deep. Because you look at Arteta on the sideline getting frustrated. You look at him, what he said publicly, but you also look at what happens when you don't see Odegaard in the 10, how the 10 plays. It's much higher. He's got to sort that out. He's got to take responsibility for that. We spoke about this before. It's not always the manager. Sometimes it's the manager, but sometimes it's the players. And sometimes a mixture of both. And this is one very much is on the player for me. So he has to improve. No question. I'm not stunned if Arsenal sell him, if they get the right offer or there's an issue with the contract. But I do not think Arsenal will be actively shopping him this summer. I really don't.
Definitely. Look into that Nkape own goal, bro, because I'm looking at it as an Nkape own goal.
Yeah, so it's gone down as that as well.
Bro.
Yeah, it's gone down as that.
I mean, to see Nkape do so well in the first half, only to, concede that kind of goal, in the final minute of that game, man. I mean, how did you feel after that? How did you see that goal? And again, then, do you think it was because I was in this argument with the Assembled in my channel in that game? So I was doing the watch along. Aces was saying something about that was Froteta, which is what they call it, Mr. Arteta, of Froteta. No in-game management tactics or whatever. And I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry. Even me, I want the manager out, but again, I still use my common sense in some certain situations that needs common sense. I don't think it was Mikel Arteta that said, hey, Nkape, go and give Chelsea a goal. Head the ball into the net. Come on, man. I mean, come on, man.
It's the same idea, right? Of when we miss a chance. Arteta's tried to.
The players have to take responsibility.
Exactly. It's a Martinelli one against Brentford, right? You know, as I say, I wouldn't have killed him, and we spoke about this at the time. You know, I'm not dissing his mentality for missing that shot. And I'm certainly not. I'm not even having going for missing a shot if he takes it first time because that's what he should have done. The issue I had with that was he takes the extra touch, right? But Mikel Arteta got heat from that. Well, he should have told him to shoot earlier. So what? Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. I think you have to look at it and go, how are you setting the side up, right? Are you actively telling them to drop? And that has happened a lot this season. Arsenal have conceded from that this season on quite a few occasions. But again, I think it's that inability to kill the games. But Arsenal not create. There are games obviously where Arsenal haven't created chances will happen in a season, and then you have to kind of look at how the team is set up. And there are games where you think, okay, you've not really gone for this. You could argue Liverpool at Anfield as an example of that, where he set up to not lose. But equally, I kind of got it on that day. But that's we've done that a couple of other times as well, where Wolves second half recently at Molineux, we invited them on. We didn't, look to kill the game. And I think that's one where you can have real genuine, although the players played terribly on the day, by the way, you can have a look at Mikel Arteta and say, you've not set the side up right there. You've not made the subs to try and change the game. There are obviously examples where people will say, well, we made defensive substitutions at 2-1 or 1-0, and we've conceded. But actually, more times than not, when we're in that situation, we see out the game and win it. But also, that's what the majority of Premier League managers do, by the way, in that situation. They bring on an extra defender or an extra defensive midfielder with 7-8 minutes to go to see out the game. It tends to be what most managers do, and we forget that. But it doesn't mean it's not immune from criticism. And again, in this situation, look, Chelsea had a good end to the half. They're a decent side. We didn't sit and hold. We were still... I was talking earlier, how many chances did we create after we scored before they scored? Quite a few, and we weren't clinical with them. That's not a defensive mindset from this one. There are, like I said, there are examples when that can be at the manager, but not on that occasion for me.
Yeah, definitely. And again, man, see, it was a very nervy one, at the end.
Oh God, yeah.
But just before that, yeah.
I had my 40th birthday last year. I'm now 50 after that.
Don't come on, mate. Come on, mate. I mean, even if you claim 50 or whatever, you're still in your 40s, bro.
Oh yeah, no. I actually realised that I had my 40th birthday 2 years ago, but never mind.
Sound correct. See, Dom, yeah. Look into that Chelsea red card for Pedro Neto. Chelsea fans are crying foul. Chelsea players are crying foul. Many other podcasters are crying foul. Do you think there was intent in that challenge that showed a certain degree of maliciousness being meted out at Gabriel Martinelli? And if you were a ref, would you give a yellow card for that? And consequently, would you send him off for that challenge, bro?
I mean, I'd send him off because he's a Chelsea player, to be honest. But no, look, he gets himself booked for dissent, and he gives the referee a decision to make. Gabriel Martinelli's away. It is a dangerous attack, and there is no intent to play the ball from my point of view. I think he's gone to try and make a cynical foul there and bring him down. The irony is, he was pretty much keeping up with him. He would have had to have slowed himself down to get a decent cross in, or it's going to have to be a magic cross. That's just a silly foul. You're giving him a decision. I don't think Pedro Neto can have any complaints at all with that one, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Big ups to
yeah. Oh, sorry, carry on. Sorry.
He says, "Are we crushing it on Chelsea clowns?" I think we are. I named this show the celebratory show. Yeah, before I hacked it off, because I just feel like that would be celebrating too quickly. Yeah, come on, man. We have 9 games. See, bro, we have 9 more games, bro. 9 more games. Dom, can you believe it? 9 more games. Hold our resolve. I mean, and then we win the league after 9 games. Dom, we are this close. Do you think we are this close to lifting this title?
I think so. Yeah. I think that I said at the start, I thought we would win.
Dom, are you
sorry?
Are you waffling right now? Seriously, I want to know what you really think.
No. I'm to tell you, I said at the start of the season, I think we'd win the league. I don't see any reason to change my mind right now. We spoke about City's vulnerabilities and Arsenal's earlier. It's going to go to the wire, but I don't see any reason why Arsenal don't win this league. I think Arsenal will win the league. I think it's a really big 3 points. We've not played well, but we've won a North London derby again. Not North London derby. That was last week. We've won a London derby. Against a side competing for the Champions League places. We are still there. We're still going. We showed we've handled the pressure again this week. We've got the quality. I think we can win the league. I don't think we're winning the quadruple, but I think we're winning the league.
Bro, come on, man. No. I don't know who is saying that we're going to win the quadruple. However, I said we're going to win the treble this season because I think it's possible, bro. See, no matter how we deny this stuff, and I know it seems crazy to think that Arsenal could lay their hands on three pieces of silverware this season, bro. But again, when you look at that game coming up by the end of this month, yeah, March 22nd, yeah, against Man City, you fancy us to win that game. We hardly lose at Wembley. I think we
Oh,
own
don't say
Wembley.
that.
I think we own Wembley. I think we win that game. Yeah, might not be the easiest kind of game we'll play, but again, I think we have an equal chance of winning that trophy. When you look at the way the Premier League is going right now, 9 games to glory, it is what it is. I think that game against City in the Carabao Cup can either spur us on to go on and win the Premier League, or can actually derail our entire season. But either way, we're in the final of a cup game, and then we have Mansfield in the fifth round of the Carabao Cup. See, ladies and gentlemen, and Dom, I hope you have seen the Champions
Am I not a
League
gentleman?
draws. I hope you've seen the Champions League draws where every rival for Arsenal have been crying over the last 48 hours. I mean, bar what is going on in the Middle East, where there's lots of tears and crying, but Arsenal fans are actually, singing that hurrah song.
Do you want to know what my
and are
response to
happy.
this is, by the way, Tony? This ridiculousness from rival fans crying about it. Or finish first or second in the Champions League group stage, then you can get the seeded draw. As simple as that. You earn the right for it.
Then take
Yeah,
it.
I mean, admittedly, we get lucky that we get the easiest side of a draw because Bayern are on the other side of a draw, which is much tougher. That's a 50-50,
Arsenal have always
right?
been at the back end of hard games, yeah. Mostly after qualifying, even even top of the group in Champions League group stages, bruv. We've always had it hard. So I don't just know why these rival fans are crashing up and burning just when Arsenal just have a similarity of a breather. And see, people, yeah, that's why I say that the narrative for Arsenal is quite different from the narrative that goes down to other teams when we're placed in the same situation. With Liverpool, oh, okay, Liverpool is playing nice football when they are scoring, yeah, when they're
Set
scoring
pieces.
with set pieces. Oh, suddenly the game, it's beautiful. The game isn't ugly. The game is so sweet. It's so good. The way they're scoring with the set pieces. But when Arsenal plays, oh, it's boring football. These narratives, yeah, when it comes to Arsenal, yeah, almost in direct or in the same simulation of the same issue, it becomes something else. Arsenal is judged harshly, bro. Yeah, penalties. Even we get down to penalties. I thought that Chalobah left a foot just in behind Gyökeres in that game, because I also looked at it. I checked it. I looked at it, bro. I looked at every inch of it. He got a leg on it. When you hit a striker in the box, I don't care what you're talking about. That's a penalty, bro. That is a penalty. But again, yeah, when you look at the penalties that, Man City have gotten this season, bro, petty ones, bro, come on, man. The balance isn't really there for Arsenal. And then in the Champions League, Arsenal have played, bro, this season, yeah, we played Bayern Munich in the group stages. We had to go down to Inter Milan to play against Inter Milan, who has been in 2 finals in 3 seasons, bro. Yeah, throw that all away. If Bayern Munich doesn't resonate, if Inter Milan doesn't resonate, okay, good, no problem. Yeah. How about Atletico Madrid? Arsenal have been at the back end of horrible fixtures, even in the Champions League. But no one will give us the props because we won those games. No one cares. What they all see is, oh, Arsenal have an easy path to the Champions League final. Dom, is there anything like an easy path to the Champions League final stages?
Well, ultimately, you just have to beat the team you're drawn against. You're drawn against who you're drawn against. you know, as Godfrey says here, and as I said a minute ago, you get what you get, but we earn the right to get that because we top the group, and therefore we get a seeded draw. The reality is, we got fortunate. We were on the side of a draw. We are. Bayern got the other side of a draw, but both of them earn the right to get the best one, and it just happened to be us. As you say, we've had hard games. We've shown we can do it in hard games. We've had hard draws for a couple of years now. We've been lucky this season in terms of draw. League Cup draws been relatively favourable. FA Cup so far, Champions League. But when we have, as you pointed out, faced these bigger teams, we have dispatched them. That's the reality. We dispatched Chelsea in the semi-final of the League Cup. Are people saying that's an easy game now? As you say, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan away. I mean, I didn't realise that they were playing Conference League, non-league football these days, and that was a walk in the park for us. You know, there is this narrative, and there is an element in our own fan base of this too. And look, you're entitled to your opinion, right? But for me, it does seem to me as if this narrative is either let's bash Arsenal for everything and let others get away with it, a la the example about corners. I've got people messaging me right now going, well, Gabriel, that was given as a foul last week, but the one on Leeds game yesterday wasn't. Nor was the Ekatika one earlier this season. Brilliant. You found 2 examples. Well done. What about the hundreds every week that get given as fouls? Going to ignore them? You know, it's that. The other side of this is the set up to fail narrative. So I have people that message me to go, oh, we're not winning anything. We're not very good, but we should do because it's money. And then the opposite is, we're going to win the quadruple now. Well, which is it? You just want...
Which is it?
Which one? It's a set up to fail narrative that's now equivalent.
Bro, sincerely, yeah, I don't really understand this. Yeah, when City win, they're like, oh, okay, City is good enough to go for the title. Oh, they're waiting for Arsenal. Oh, the big blue sharks waiting. And then the next week when they draw, they're like, we're still in a project. We just got new players in. We just brought a Gay. We just brought Reynolds. We just brought
Semenyo, yeah, brilliant.
We just brought Eknori. We just brought Semenyo. This is a project. Which is it? Is it a team that's coached by Pep? That is a team that is experienced enough to win the league? Or is this a team really in a project? Bro, with Arsenal, yeah, we're being thrown the book right from the get-go. You know, so there's this disparity, mostly in mainstream media, in how they present this Arsenal issues. And again, that's why, yeah, even sincerely, yeah, most of these podcasts I see these days, yeah, they hardly even get Arsenal fans.
Yeah,
doing the round,
or they get ones that are the extreme ends. We're winning everything. We're winning nothing. Like, that's not where most fans are for me. Look, I've always said there are criticisms you can make of Arteta and Arsenal. The same goes for every team. But it's this set up to fail narrative that really irks me. We're going to win all 4, so that if we win 3, 2, 1, obviously if we win 0, it's a very different conversation, right? But it's setting them up to, it's going, well, you know, he should have won 4. I said he was going to win 4. The other one is, well, you can't celebrate anything because you haven't won anything. You know, there's some truth to the latter of those ones. But if you're saying that we have no God-given right to win it, why are you then saying, well, if we don't win this quadruple, and it's coupled with the fact you're going, well, you've had an easy run all the way through, therefore, of course, you should win it. Again, what you're trying to do, take something away from it. You know, what are we going to say? You know, we're going to take some FA Cups off teams because they had an easy draw all the way through. City, or side a couple of years ago, got through to the semi-finals without facing a single Premier League side. Well, good for them.
Bro,
it's a draw.
Bro,
you're taking it off them.
You don't hear these arguments, bro.
No, exactly.
Bro,
and nor should you.
You don't hear these arguments.
And you brought up Manchester City and Arsenal here, right? I did a video in the week comparing the finances because I love numbers because I'm a bit of a geek.
Yeah.
But Manchester City have spent, I've still got it. I might have the numbers in front of me. Let me grab the numbers up quickly.
Give us the numbers.
I think I still have them in front of me. Yeah, I've got them here. You know, Manchester City, you know, in the last decade spent £900 million more on wages than Arsenal. Transfers, it's around 200 million more since Arteta arrived from Manchester City. That doesn't include wages and it doesn't include agents' fee, which are significant. Ooh. Their wages last season were around £70 million more than Arsenal. That was being speculated on the time. City's accounts have come out since, so that might not be right, but that was sort of the estimates on it. You know, Manchester City have not been frugal at all. And look, They spend money. That if the money's there, they're entitled to spend that money. There is an if about it because they've got 115 charges that are unresolved. I know that relates to a previous period,
Exactly.
but they're also building from a higher base. So they've got a higher base to start with, which does explain the wages, but it doesn't explain the transfer funding. If they were starting here, we were starting here. You'd expect Arsenal to be that way around, but it's not. So Man City aren't poor, but you don't hear people talking about that. Just hear about the money Arsenal have spent. And that is partly, in fairness, that is partly because Arsenal haven't won anything for 5 years. And
True.
therefore you can say you spent, €1 billion and haven't won anything. That is a fair and legitimate criticism. But equally, it doesn't mean we wasted £1 billion because we've now got a side that is able to compete to win trophies. It now has to get over the line and deliver. But it ignores the fact that City have spent loads despite being in a place where they already had a title winning side.
Exactly.
So, I present the facts fairly is basically my point.
Yeah, exactly. These people, they're not fair. And again, this is why all these teams were beaten, whether they're rivals or not. I want them to crash and burn, just like Chelsea. After giving them a beating today, I want them to go back, cry more, and them and their fans can go and cry more, because when you look at the fixtures of Chelsea, they go away from home, they go face Aston Villa, they come back, they face Wrexham, giant killers who are waiting in the offing for them in the FA Cup. Some Hollywood guy is part owner of Wrexham, and he'll be ready to go for that matchup. They play PSG, home and away. They come back, they go and face Newcastle, in a grudge match. They come back from that Newcastle matchup, they have to go face City. After facing City, they go face Manchester United. After facing Manchester United, bro, you know what, just kiss this season goodbye, Chelsea. Do you see Chelsea, after all this fixture pile up for them, do you think they get top 4?
I mean, they've got Spurs on the penultimate game of the season, so at least they got 3 points there. But I think it's in jeopardy. I said earlier, they've got to win today. They had to win today as much as we did because it is in jeopardy. I think the advantage they have is that Manchester United are on a very good run of form right now, and I think they will get the top 4 because they've literally got a game a week. And that's going to be a huge advantage for them. I think anyone thinking that Michael Carrick can repeat this next season if he's in charge of Manchester United, I don't think so, because you're going to play 3 games a week again. I expect the squad to get better, but there were still significant holes in it. And we've seen the likes of Newcastle and Aston Villa in particular highlight how difficult it is to keep building and improving and staying in the top 4 year on year. Something which is overlooked by our achievement, because you've seen sides yo-yo because you haven't got the squad for it. You haven't got the money for it because of the FFP rule. We were slightly more fortunate than those 2 teams I've mentioned because we generate more from the stadium and what have you. And income-wise and sponsorship was always a little bit higher than theirs was to start with. That is a little bit of an advantage for us. But even so, you watch the yo-yo of those sides. So I think Manchester United will get there. I think Villa are in free fall. I think Liverpool are improving. And if I was putting money on right now, a top 4, it's Arsenal, City, Manchester United and Liverpool.
Aston Villa Aston Villa is no more. I mean, they're no more threat again, right? So that threat is gone, right?
Yeah, I mean, they can't even wait around for handshakes at the end of a game. But where they might get lucky, Chelsea, is I suspect 5th will be a Champions League spot as well, because the English sides are doing so well. They're all through to the last 16 in Europe in every competition. Therefore, 5th will probably be a Premier League spot. I'd have thought. I'd be surprised if it isn't. And Champions League spot, in the Premier League. And therefore, I could see Chelsea finishing 5th. But they are 6 points behind Villa. And as you say, that's an incredibly hard run of games. And Villa have a 6-point advantage with 10 games to go, for those 2 sides. So, I think Chelsea best hope is finishing 5th. And then you're hoping that they get the extra place in Europe. And if Chelsea, by the way, don't get Champions League football, and this is me being as fair and independent as I can be, you look at those financial results from last year, and yes, okay, there was quite a lot of significant one-off write-offs, which made their financial accounts worse. for last year. Those financial accounts are terrible, and they come following a big loss the year before as well. Let's not forget. Yes, Arsenal have made a loss for 7 years running, but they were much smaller losses as you went on, with the exception of COVID, where it went up a little bit. Chelsea are only hanging on at the moment from the financial fair play rules. They sold their women's team. They sold their hotel to themselves, pretty much, by the way. And they can get around the PSR rules by making and selling signings. So they're selling players to fund it, because you get the sugar rush from the sale, and your signings you can do over 3 years. Well, at some point that sugar train is going to run out. So they're in big trouble if they don't make Champions League. They have to make Champions League.
They have to make Champions League, exactly. But does any other form of Europe help them out?
Well, of course it
Like
does,
Europa
but you earn
League?
significantly less if you're in the Europa League than you do in the Champions League.
Definitely. See, I'm just being nosy down here, yeah, because of course sometimes these rivals get on my nerves, so sometimes I get a little bit perty against them. Do you think Man United will be looking at Carrick right now and then saying, you know what, yeah, we're gonna put you in charge, rather than going out there to get a shiny suit manager or you know, a hip star manager to come in and take over the reins at Man United? What do you reckon?
If they were Tottenham, they'd do it because they're stupid. Manchester United, I don't know. So I think Michael Carrick is a decent manager, by the way. I think he did a good job at Middlesbrough. Everyone goes, well, he got sacked at Middlesbrough. Yeah, they sold his best 4 players and expected him to get promoted, and didn't give him much money to replace him with. Of course, they got worse. He's come in and done something relatively simple at Manchester United, which is go, well, we're not set up to play 3 at the back, so should we play 4 at the back? You know, and he's then got the advantage of, the players clearly didn't like Amarin, and he's also got the added advantage as well of going, do you know what? I'm prepared to drop a big player.
And the players have been fit under him. Let's get that correctly.
Yeah,
players have been fit under him. People like what's that? Their defender,
Luke Shaw,
who has been injured all season and just came back and said they're having good reviews.
Delit, Euro, I'm not sure which one.
No. What's his name? What's his name again, bro?
Which position at the
back?
He
has been injured. He's been injured.
Which position does he play at the back?
Centre back.
Euro?
Not Euro. Centre back.
Well, Euro is a centre back.
It's their main signing 2 years ago.
What, Delit?
Not Delit.
Mazraoui?
Not Mazraoui.
I was going to say, because he's not really centre back. I'm looking at the side from their last game. I can't. Malacia? He's a left back.
He's always injured.
Well, I mean, you're not rounding it. You're not narrowing it down there. Delit's always injured. Shaw, Malacia, Mazraoui.
No, none of them.
Maguire?
Not Maguire. If you name one more, you get it.
I'm just going. Okay, that's
the butcher. The butcher. That's his nickname.
They played the same back 4 last 3 games. You don't mean Aiden Heaven?
Nah. The butcher. That's his nickname.
Martinez. Oh, he's been out injured the last couple of games.
He's now injured.
Yeah, the last time he played was against West Ham, because I'm just literally going back through there.
Christ, bro. I thought he was back. But
no.
But he's played under Carrick, though.
He has played under Carrick, yeah.
He's played under Carrick, though.
But yeah.
But anyway, well.
But to answer your question, though, on Carrick, by the way.
I still think that they've been more fitter since Carrick came on. Lich has been okay. He's been playing. Maguire's been playing. Euro has been playing. Kobe Mainoo has been playing. New lease of life for him. Ahmad has come back from the African Cup of Nations looking like a different kid. Mbeumo, has been, have been tremendous all season. No drop of form. But anyway, of course, playing one game every week, is something that, keeps them fresh for the next game, innit?
I kind of made those compliments about Carrick sound a little bit backhanded, right? They are credit to him, But equally, I think you have to factor them into next season where you're not the shiny new toy. You don't get that bounce of the players suddenly wanting to play for you when they didn't want to play for the old manager. And you're going to have to play 3 times a season. So I don't think it's the worst appointment in the world for Manchester United if they were to go for Michael Carrick. However, the manager market this summer could have some real big names on there. And I think if you're in a world where obviously Thomas Tuchel's just signed a new extension, but if he became available, for England, or, Pochettino's not really done a lot recently, but do you know what I mean? There was a lot of good managers available this summer.
Out there.
There are
the big names.
Whereas last summer they weren't really out there. So I think had it been last year, Michael Carrick gets a job. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think if the players really are buying into Michael Carrick as much as it looks, then there is a definite argument there. And we have seen it work before, but we've also seen these things go disastrously wrong. So if I was Manchester United, I'd say thanks, Michael. Brilliant job. We're going to try and look for someone else. I think that would be the right decision for Manchester United. But
so you think they should go for a shiny suit manager?
I think they need to find the right manager for them. And I'm not convinced that Michael Carrick is. That is a big old jump. But then, while Arteta hasn't got us over the line, he's improved us significantly since he arrived. So maybe Michael Carrick can have the same impact there. But I just look at that market this summer and think, yeah, there's a lot of things there. But I'll tell you who I think should go for Michael Carrick if they stay up, and that is Tottenham Hotspur. I think Michael Carrick would be a very good fit for Tottenham Hotspur. But Spurs have so much work to do.
Not a hipster manager or a shiny suit manager, right? For Tottenham.
A real coach, someone that understands the club. He used to play for the club. I think these things are going to be really important at Tottenham. And equally a manager who I think is used to having players sold under him. And I think Spurs need a big old clear out. And I think Carrick is a flexible enough manager to play a couple of different ways and respond and command respect and understanding of the club. And the fans, most importantly, will buy into him, because I don't think Tottenham fans ever bought into Thomas Frank. So I think Spurs could do worse than Carrick.
Did Carrick also play for Tottenham Hotspur at the tail end of his career?
He went from Tottenham to Manchester United.
Oh yes, it was from Tottenham to So yeah, I mean they should be looking at him, innit? They should be looking at him.
I think he's a really good manager.
Yeah, they should be looking at him. I mean,
and Tottenham are only going to play once a week next season, so he's shown he can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Dom, that big one.
I scrap that. I don't think Spurs should sign Michael Carrick, because he might actually do all right there. I think Spurs should go after the Macclesfield manager, Robbie Savage. I think he'd be perfect for taking them down.
Oh my God! But you know what? Dom. Even if many Arsenal fans are, just looking at that Tottenham situation and laughing at them and just taking
it is St. Tottenham's Day after all.
At them, I have this certain kind of mercy for them. I don't know. I just don't feel like it would be justice for them to go down.
I don't think they are going down, by the way. I think they will survive.
Yeah. Sometimes you need an enemy to flex your muscles against. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah. Like every Batman needs a penguin. Every Batman needs a
Joker.
You need a joke. You need a clown down there. Yeah. I mean, you need a Bane. Yeah. Just someone you could be able to look into the season and say, let's have a little of a scrap.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the Premier League for Arsenal without Tottenham doesn't quite feel right. But how funny would it be? By the way, I've got some quotes here from Chris Sutton for you for your response on this. Okay. If Arsenal get over the line and win the Premier League, and these are familiar quotes, by the way, because it's been said a lot this season, they will be the ugliest Premier League winning team in history. The performance wasn't there and constantly isn't there. Thoughts?
Lies. This is not true. Absolute lies. Absolute lies. Although I would say that most of the goals to where set piece goes to. I wouldn't lie. But again, I can't say it's boring football. I would just say things have changed. The Premier League is now tighter. the Premier League is now more harder. Where, bro, did you see Wolves? Yeah, almost a week ago, I think. Yeah, I mean they pulled off a win over which club did they beat?
Aston Villa.
They beat
Unai
Aston
Emery,
Villa. Exactly,
Unai
bro.
Emery refused again to shake hands. You know, last time Mikel Arteta didn't come quickly enough. What's your excuse this time?
Exactly.
Rob Edwards, did he not come quickly enough either? Because, by the way, the
Exactly, bro.
video showed that both Arteta and Rob Edwards shook hands with their assistant manager and went straight towards the Villa bench, and Unai had gone on
Exactly.
both
Exactly.
occasions. Just a bad
Exactly.
loser, mate.
Exactly. So this is the thing. I think. I mean, you can imagine a system where, I mean, a team that is almost, yeah, confirmed. You know, that they will be leaving the Premier League. Just summons up the courage to go beat a team that's in top four. I mean, that should inform you that that this league is crazier and more ferocious this season. So Arsenal, so people bringing out these narratives that Arsenal, again, I want my team to win the ugly way. Win the ugly way first. Now maybe the next season you can win the comfortable way. I'm totally okay winning the ugly way right now. Just give me the title, bro.
I just want to win, right? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, don't
exactly,
get me wrong.
bro.
Would I
Look at
rather
Italy.
win?
Look at the Italian Serie A. Many teams win ugly. AC Milan wins ugly. Inter Milan wins ugly. What are we talking about, bro?
Yeah, you win or you don't. What are we going to say? We're going to take away the league titles from Chelsea because Mourinho didn't play the most scintillating football. Gary Neville talks about it with Manchester United. He talks about the amount of times they had to dig deep. You got a point. You didn't deserve a point at all. You played badly, and sometimes that was. He said more than not that came against the side you expected to beat. It happens. This, as we said earlier, the league is changing. You just said it just now. The league is changing. It is not as pretty football as it was a few years ago. But Arsenal have shown when side open up against us, and we didn't do it terribly well today because I don't think Chelsea were terribly deep, by the way. So today is not a good example of that. But you saw against Tottenham, you saw against Leeds, you see it constantly in the Champions League. Give us a bit of space, a little bit of space, and we kill teams and we can play fluid football. But it comes because of a game scenario. And it's simply that. Manchester City aren't exactly playing beautiful football. Are we talking about that? Liverpool, is it as beautiful as it was on the clock? No, because the league isn't as beautiful. So yes, Arsenal might be one of the ugliest teams to win the league, but who cares? You win. If you win the league, who cares?
If you win the league, who cares? But again, because me, I'm this kind of person. Yeah, I like looking into context. I like looking into perspectives. I like giving the other guy a chance to actually get his views out there. This is the thing. I still also do think that it is probable. Yeah, we have to also probe. Even if we win, we also have to probe the amount of games we've won comfortably this season. I don't want to be that kind of fan, yeah, that want to be at the edge of my seat all the time.
No, we're getting older, Tony. We need to look after ourselves.
Exactly, bro. We're getting older. The cholesterol level is going high. The hypertension is probably bumping. I mean, all these things, yeah. Cardiovascular shit might be, working in the body. No one knows. No one knows all these things. So sometimes you don't need to, take it towards the hard way. Sometimes it should be simple. Sometimes it should be easy in the eye. Not everyone likes to be on the edge. I just want to sit down on my, in front of my TV set, and watch the game and feel like, oh, okay, no matter how this game goes, we're gonna win. Like those famous seasons, the Centurion season of Manchester City, yeah, where they're gonna win these games. They play pretty games. They have to dig deep sometimes, but pretty much, they find it easy to win the league. So it is what it is, yeah, at this point.
I think there's a real truth to that, by the way, Tony. I think that's a really good point. So I think, look, Mikel Arteta talks a lot about what can you learn from every season and how do you improve the next season. And I think the big one here is how do you kill off games earlier and easier and take away some of that pressure? Because while circumstance is some of that, Arsenal need to find a way to be more clinical and take advantage of it. We have conceded too often, too quickly, having scored this season. And that puts the pressure right back on you and needs to be scored. That, for me, is a big thing. How do we stop teams getting right back into the game instantly or feeling it and not killing off games? That, for me, is the big thing that needs to come out of this season. Obviously, regardless of whether we win or not, actually, because if we don't win, it's going to be because we haven't done that often enough. And if we do win, well, I still want us to be better next year. And how do you get better? Well, you improve that element of the game. So I think you're exactly spot on. That is an inquest that should happen at the end of the season regardless.
Yeah. Just take a look at the headlines. Set piece, ole, 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 Arsenal wins against Chelsea. Another one, this one is coming from Flash Score. Connor Kings, Arsenal, and Aston Villa hit a wall.
Have you checked TalkSport? I'm just going to quickly check TalkSport.
The narrative, bro. You know, Connor Kings. The other one was Set Piece Genius, bro. I mean, yeah, I'm even running out of words to even count the names they have for us these days. Yeah, Tony Pulis FC, Corner Kick FC. Now I'm seeing all over the headlines: Set Piece Kings, Corner Kick Kings, bro. As an Arsenal,
here you go. I've got TalkSport for you. I've got TalkSport for you to add to it. Gunners hold on for 3 points after Timber scores.
Are you proud of this nomenclature, though? Like when someone looks at you and say, "Hey, Dom, Corner Kick Kings, Set Piece Kings, Tony Pulis FC." I mean, when you hear these things, yeah, is it that you just, I mean, do you just put up that brave face, or would you argue it and say, "Hey, man, we still did score open play goals," or do you think that will be drowned out of that? I mean, what's your balance? How do you see your football club?
I mean, kind of waste your breath, don't you, when you argue about it? You know, look, people are going to write what they write. I think, you know, you can't change the narrative. If that's the narrative people want to run with, then fine. And look, the only way Arsenal can deal with it is by winning things, because I think this is a lot associated with fear. There's a lot of people in the media that are fearful that Arsenal are going to win the league. Opposition fans, understandably, fearful that we might win the league because it's great banter, right? They haven't won it for 22 years, right? You know, you can understand that, right? I get it. But the mainstream media do need to look at themselves here. And I know
that TV, a Chelsea fan finally has the guts to roll up on this. Oh, my days. Big up to Yasa TV. Yasa TV, I'm with my friend, my big brother, Arsenal Domination, Dominic. And, we're just talking about how we, stunted on you guys, how will put you in your place, in the London derby again, I mean, the way see, how many in a row has Arteta done on Chelsea now? I think this is 5 in a row now, bro.
At home?
Yeah, at home.
Yeah, I think it's 5 in a row, yeah.
I think it's 5 in a row. Come on, man. Come on. Yasa TV. You should be ashamed of this, bro.
But fair play to you for coming on by.
Yeah, fair play to you, bro. I mean, many of my Chelsea friends, they've run away from the stream. I mean, the other day they were just popping in here when Man United did me dirty. They were all coming here, taking a piss, laughing at me, mocking me. But right now, all of them have disappeared. Yasa TV is the only one with a pair of balls, a pause to come around and show his face here.
The rest have disappeared quite faster than the away end in the League Cup the other week.
Oh, my days, bro. So it is what it is. Let's see, Dom, before we go, please, yeah. I want to get your thoughts on, but in other words, Yesa TV, they cut, my guy. It's hard to see you qualify for the Champions League from here on. Liverpool have a bigger stake, with that
unless if there's 5 places. If there's 5 places, then I can see you getting it, as in Chelsea.
Even for 5 places, Aston Villa is still there.
They are still there, yeah.
Aston Villa is still there. So, and people, yeah, I know people will want to, throw Aston Villa, under the bus right now. But again, I don't think they relinquish that European place, bro. So it is what it is. And again, it's kind of like good pressure right now that we have. This will be a bigger momentum for Arsenal. Guess what's gonna happen? When Manchester City go away from home to Stamford Bridge, yeah, Chelsea from here on now, yeah, every single game they play would be the game of their lives to get into Champions League football.
Yeah, it's going to have to be.
When they face Manchester City, if they are not winning, they have to pick up a draw. That plays into the hands of Arsenal when you check in the grand scheme of things. So, yes, TV, whether you like it or not, you would be actually you would actually be helping Arsenal win the trophy at the end of the day, just for you thinking of qualifying for the Champions League. Dom, back
Could
to
do
the
you beat
Champions League.
Tony, I've got a
Yeah,
question for you.
yeah.
Who has Mikel Arteta beaten? Which club has he beaten more often since he became Arsenal manager than any other? Who's he beaten the most?
I think it's Tottenham. He has never lost a game.
No, Tottenham are joint third. There's 2 teams above them.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think Chelsea has to be at the top of that, bro.
Chelsea are top, 11 wins against Chelsea. Yeah.
Oh my days, 11.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll be stunned. I'll give you 3 guesses for who's second. I'll be stunned if you get it without looking it up. I've never got it in a million
Are you
years.
serious?
Yeah,
Second.
Chelsea are top. Second. Chelsea are the side he's beaten most. But if you can get the side he's beaten the second most without looking it up, then kudos to you, my friend. Kudos to you.
Second most. Oh, second most. Second most. Oh my days. I think Burnley.
Nope. Not even in the top 6. I'll give you the Tottenham and Newcastle are joint third, if that helps you. So you can rule out those 2.
Oh.
All the Peter Griffin size coming out.
Oh my days. I can't, bro. I can't.
Well, let's put it this way. They should be joint top with Chelsea because we should have beaten them the other day and let in a late equaliser to draw. It caused yet another collective meltdown.
Which game was that?
We were talking about them earlier. Wolverhampton Wanderers, yeah.
Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah. Chelsea, he's beaten 11 times. Wolverhampton Wanderers 10. Newcastle, Spurs, Crystal Palace, and Leeds 9.
But I can swear it. Wolves have always taken some certain points from us.
No, it's Manchester City they like to take points from.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Wow, that's great. I mean, it's cozier when you're sitting at the back of your chair and looking it up and saying it, right?
Do you know what, though? It came across my screen, right?
It's cozy, right?
The reason I said, if you can guess a side second...
I owe you one, bro.
Well,
making
as
me
I
look
said,
like an Oreo.
No. As I said to you right at the start, I said, if you can get it without looking up, kudos to you, because I wouldn't have got Wolves in a month of Sundays. Do you know what? I'd have gone with someone like Brentford or Everton. Someone's been
Something
around,
like that.
For for a while that we played a lot. I would West Ham.
Something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I reckon you could have given me 20 guesses and I wouldn't have got Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah. Okay. Dom, what would you say about that Champions League draw for Arsenal to play with Bayer Leverkusen, bro? Do you think it's one of those games that you think Arsenal will crush Bayer Leverkusen? Or do you think it's one of those games we have to be very careful?
I don't know about crush, right? But Arsenal should be beating Bayer Leverkusen, I'd expect to be in the quarterfinals. You never know; it's a cup competition, but I think it would be wrong to expect to smash a team like that. Um, I
Say
think that would be
wrong.
disrespectful to them.
Come on, man. We smashed up Leeds. We expected to do that, but we
No,
smashed
I
them.
mean, but Bayer Leverkusen, let's be honest, they were Bundesliga champions not that long ago. Yes, they've
Mm,
lost a lot of players. They're not as good as they were a couple of years ago. You'd expect Arsenal to win that. But I think the idea that, look, if we smash them, then brilliant. Look, it really does. We were speaking earlier about, the great wins we've had this season. But I would be very surprised if we don't get through to the quarterfinals. Very surprised.
mm, mm. So you think Bayer Leverkusen is there for the taking, right?
It depends on your definition of there for the taking. Do I think we're going to beat them? Yes. Do I think we're going to beat them relatively comfortably? Yes. Do I think we're going to absolutely tonk them 4-5-6? No.
Oh, I got my answer. The second one, you gave me my answer with the second one
Yeah.
comfortably. Yeah, yeah.
I think it'll be comfortable. I
That's
think
what I meant.
over the 2 legs, I think it'll be 3, probably by 3 goals,
Okay.
maybe 4.
Because
But
yeah, yeah. I mean,
but the reason I don't think it'll be so big, right, is because let's imagine a scenario where we win 2-1 away, for instance,
mm,
and then we go 1-0 up at home, so we're now 3-1 up. You've got 50 minutes on the clock. You're not going to go and try and put the more goals past. Leverkusen will have to come out, but Arsenal will look to see it out and look to conserve energy because they're still, when we play them, we'll still be in all 4 competitions, assuming we beat
mm,
Mansfield, which you'd have to assume we would.
yeah.
We saw it against Wigan, 4 goals up after 27 minutes. Still could have scored another 2 or 3, by the way. But we took that. We didn't try to score more. We decided to conserve energy, which was the right decision. And I think if Arsenal are in a position, a bit like Chelsea in the semi-final of the League Cup, just
Yeah.
see the game out nice and comfortable. And I just think that's how we look to do it.
Yeah, exactly. People, yeah, thanks for joining us today. Yeah, I mean, those of you who are going to watch this later, please smash the like button and, of course, try to share the stream. Big up to you, Dom. I know you say it's a bit late here, 1 hour, 21 minutes. Big ups to you. And
Before we go, Tony, sorry, really quickly, before we
yeah,
go,
talk
what are
to
your
us.
thoughts on the Brighton game? Because I'm going to be at the Amex on Wednesday.
Oh, you're going to be at the Amex?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Brighton, Albion and Hove. At the Amex Stadium. Man, they've taken points away from us at the Amex Stadium quite recently. I think 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
2 seasons ago, they took points away from us there.
Yeah,
But
they've
again,
just won 2 on the bounce as well, by the way.
yeah, again, Arsenal have taken 15 points away from home this season. And were the highest to take points away from home this season. Manchester City is second in that. They've taken 13 points away. But again, I don't know. Dom is a stats guy, so people, I'll just leave that to him. But
I haven't actually looked up the stats on this one, but
okay. I think Arsenal have taken about 15 points away. But again, it is what it is. I don't know. Maybe you tell me that later on. But we've looked comfortable away from home, though, to certain teams. We've looked comfortable away from home. Again, I don't think Brighton have the. I don't think they have the. I mean, I've played more scarier teams. I even think that Leeds are more scary away from home than Brighton is. But again, that's not how you to look into these games. You have to look at them individually and put that into perspective. But again, Brighton can stick it to anyone out there at the Amex Stadium. But I think we'll win. I have to go with Arsenal. I think we'll win.
I think so too. I think Brighton obviously not as formidable as they were a season or 2 ago. They're despite winning the last 2, they're not looking as good as they were even earlier this season. But they're also a side that I think is really, really well set up to face the likes of Arsenal and City. They can have periods where they can keep the ball very nicely. And Arsenal are quite comfortable with that, but they can then go from keeping the ball really nicely to swinging quickly, 2-3 passes, and suddenly be in, lull you into that false sense of security. They're also quite nicely set up to sit, defend deep, and hit on the counter attack. So I think from that point of view, Arsenal need to be really, really careful. I
Yeah.
don't think that both fullbacks can be really high. I think that's a recipe for disaster here because of the way Brighton are set up. But like you, I think I would have been more worried about this last season or the season before, even with this side, than I am this season. I think it's not going to be a blockbuster game. Brighton are not going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at Arsenal and leave gaps in behind. So Arsenal are going to have to be very careful from that point of view.
Yeah.
But again, like you, I think Arsenal should be too good for them, and they're going to need to be because you'd expect Manchester City to beat Forest at home. They're both kicking off at the same time.
Again, yeah. See, Dom, yeah. I wouldn't be too sure. Say no more. I wouldn't be too sure. Yeah.
I think if Forest were at home, I might not be so sure.
Bro, it doesn't matter, bro. Bro, they're fighting relegation. Bro, it's a scrap. Bro, I don't want to be in a situation where I'll be playing teams that are in that like maybe any of the 4 teams at the bottom right now. Those are danger spaces to be playing. You can see Wolves, they're ready to beat anyone. Nottingham Forest, I mean, they'll be fighting to the end. When you look at a team like Tottenham right now, they'll be fighting to the end. Like practically, the whole remainder of the 9 games will be a fight.
Well, they're cut for it. You are right, and as I said earlier, look, and we've talked about it earlier. The league is closing in quality, and City can be got at, but I just think Forest, for me, feel like the side that will join Burnley and Wolves in going down, and I think away at the Etihad, I think is going to be a tough one for Forest to get the win.
And of course, Rolo Gampus takes a swipe at Arsenal and Arsenal fans and says, you rely on set pieces. Oh man, we have to go through this again. I mean, when we're about logging off from the old issue, and then
second place in open play goals of the season. Look, there are times when we do, but there are times when we win games. Yeah, there are times we win games with set pieces. Today is one of those ones, right? We're good at set pieces. Why shouldn't we use it? It's good enough for Liverpool, as we discussed earlier, but equally, we're second for open play goals in the league this season. So we're not just a one-trick pony.
Yeah, and apparently Liverpool plays good football, innit? Like they always say Arsenal plays boring football with the whole set piece thing, but apparently Liverpool is up there with the numbers, with the amount of set pieces they've played. But apparently they're playing good football, innit? Bro, come on, man. I mean, this system is rigged, yeah. But again, I understand it. Teams hate Arsenal. They don't like us. And that's the more reason why we need to win this league so that, we can just quieten this rival fans because they don't like us. And again, frankly, to be very sincere with you, Dom, yeah, I don't want no favors from these teams. I want Arsenal to just go on and win it. I don't want any favors from Chelsea. I just want to go on and I just want us to just win all our games. And of course, I know we'll drop points in some certain games. The City game might be a draw, I know, but to just be so easy if we could just go through the season and just win the remainder of the 9 games, 9 finals, win them all.
I mean, that would be the ideal, right? But I mean, if any teams would like to help us out by beating City, I'm perfectly fine with that. But look, you're right. It's the only way Arsenal can shut people up, right, is by winning the league. And then, look, if some people want to still hate, then that's absolutely fine. But it's really easy to come up with this narrative, and I can see why people do it because it's there constantly. But as always, and this applies whatever you want to say, whatever your view is, apply a critical eye to it and see if that really is your view or whether that's just what you're seeing, right? A mate of mine's a Tottenham fan. He sent me about 10 like social media reels. He said and he made the point. He said, I'm sending these you not to watch them because you're not going to watch them. But it's amazing how when you get these constantly in your feed, how that can just leave your view on everything can become informed by this. And he was making the point, and look, he's still fuming about the Gabriel goal. The push on Gabriel, having it disallowed for Kolo Muani. And rightly, by the way, saying, well, how is Ekatike's goal a goal when that's not a goal? And the answer is, well, Ekatike's goal shouldn't have been a goal. It's a two-handed push. Neither of them should have been goals. But we ignore, as I mentioned earlier, you ignore all the countless times it has been given as a foul. It's not just that one. But the point he was making was, you can see when this is in your feed constantly, you get this idea that that must be the truth because everything says it's the truth. No, it's just a narrative.
True.
Go and check it. If you check it and your eye test says it, your stats say it, and that's what's being reported, then yeah, it's probably right. If not, go and have a look at it. And go and ask the critical questions. Does it make sense? You know, I was making this point the other day, that it was all Berta that got Saka to sign a new deal. Look, Berta will have negotiated that deal, no question, with his team, right?
Yeah.
But the idea that Saka signed just because of Berta doesn't make any sense. Because
Doesn't
why
make
would
sense.
he?
I don't think so. These are lies, bro. It's not true.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what was. But you know, people have said they're adamant that it's true. It's like, well, you don't just sign because of a sporting director. You sign because of a manager, the club, the players, your belief that you can win things. The salary has to be right. You have to be comfortable. All of these
So
factors
many
come in.
factors. Maybe you love the club so much.
Yeah, exactly.
How about you grew up with the club and you like the crest and you want to represent the club till you die? I mean, come on, man. There's so many. He's ill and kid, isn't it? So I mean, see, people have so many. When it comes to Arsenal, I've noticed one thing: everyone has opinions, and they're not really particularly good ones. You know, the ones that that want to shake Arsenal fans to the core and bring us to our knees, make us beg, make us cry. Make us do despicable things. Yeah, I mean, they hate us. They hate us out there, and that's why we need to win this title. And bro, I want to see armpit raised at the end of the season. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
It's a shame we don't have the Lynx Africa kit anymore, because that would have been nice, wouldn't it? Armpits raised and we're fresh.
Exactly, bro. Come on, man. That's what I want to see at the end of the season. All this talk wouldn't matter for anything, provided armpits are raised. Yeah, with the cops. That's all I want to see. Dom, I know you've discredited this already, but I just want to be very sure about what you're saying. Is there a chance for Arsenal in your own world right now for us to win multiple titles this season?
Multiple? Yes. All four. Okay. Never been done before, so I wouldn't be putting money on it.
Okay. So you're not looking at the League Cup.
If we win the League Cup, then I think we're going to win another trophy too.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think we're going to win a domestic double? Do you think we can win a treble? Where are you pitching your tent at?
I think double.
Okay.
But I because the Champions League is still going to be hard, even though it's a favourable draw. And when you're the League Cup, it's one game now. But FA Cup, one bad performance, you're out. So, and the league is obviously still tight. So I think a double feels about right.
Would you put your money on it?
Not this side of a League Cup, I wouldn't. Not this side of a League Cup final. I think the League Cup final is really important for us. Absolutely vital to the season. You made the point earlier. I think at that point, I still wouldn't put my money on a double, because you kind of be thinking more towards a treble. So, but double feels about right to me. Ironically, I wouldn't. I don't know how many you're going to win, but I'm not shocked if we win a treble. I'm not entirely shocked if we win nothing. I'm very shocked if we win 4, but I think 2 feels about right to me. That's where if I was putting money on it, that's where I'd put it. But I wouldn't put money on it.
Exactly, people. 2 feels right.
I mean, ultimately, we haven't won anything for 5 years. So, I know. It's showing a lot of chest to say I think we can win a double, but I do think that probably feels about right.
All right, people. Me and Dom.
How many do you think we'll win, Tony?
Bro, I've said all season, bro. I said from the start of the season we're winning a treble this season. And that's because of our defensive solidity and Gyökeres being here. I thought Gyökeres at the start of the season would get us nothing less than 35 goals all season. That's what I thought, all competitions. I thought he would put a number of, let's say, 25 in the league this season. Like my first thought when he was coming. I thought 25 in the league this season. And then he would get the other 10 goals from the Champions League, the FA Cups, and of course the Carabao Cup. But looking at it, with fresh perspectives now, yeah, he's gotten about how many goals now? 15 goals?
15.
All
So I
season,
said
right?
25. That's what I said.
Yeah, 15. I'm not saying 15 is the best out there, but
No.
coming in the league, that's changing. Yeah, mostly there is a change in terrain for strikers. Mostly this season. Pick him up, yeah, with his peers this season. Yao Pedro, 14 goals this season, playing as a henchman for Chelsea Football Club, and Voltemode, with 14 goals, and these guys aren't considered flops in their teams. Look at Ugo Ekitike. He just scored his 16th goal of the season, bro, just the other day. And these men are not being called flops. They are not being called flops. They're actually called. No, I'm talking of Ekitike.
No, I know. I'm making your point, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're drawing that
isn't,
conclusion.
but yet Gyökeres is. He's one goal behind.
Yeah, exactly. But Gyökeres is looked upon and called a flop by these criminals. So, bro, I find it so outlandish and clownish. Yeah, for these people to have this kind of opinions, where in a world that Voltemode just came down, yeah, from Germany, comes here, scores 14 goals, is heralded as the next best thing. Ekitike as a world-class striker, and then Gyökeres, who scored 15, is called a flop, the Arsenal flop. Bro, these things don't sit well with me, bro. It doesn't sit well with me. It shows bias, all written all over it, bro. Yeah, Mbeumo gets 10 goals, and man is not even being looked at upon as a flop this season, bro.
He was rated, by the way. Sorry, Mbeumo was rated as the signing of the season earlier in the week by a British media outlet. And Mbeumo.
Yeah, bro, you can imagine. Sesko scores 7 goals this season. He's not been looked upon as a flop. Gary Neville was saying, "Oh, it looks like the second coming of Solskjaer." Bro, can you imagine? They're not even comparing Sesko to Solskjaer. No, really. But then Gyökeres is a flop. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I got it. I think
Sesko is going to do well, right? I really do. But you're exactly right. It's like, make it make sense. Like, Sesko is starting to find his feet at United, starting to play well. United generally starting to play well. But yeah, again, Gyökeres flop, Sesko not. Well, Gyökeres has double the amount of goals. Like, and it's not like Manchester United are terrible. They're third in the league. It's not, if they were 15th in the league and he's coming into that sort of side and he's got 7 goals, you could make an argument that one could be and the other isn't. That said,
it's funny, bro. It's funny, but yeah, Gyökeres is the flop. Gyökeres is the one you don't want in your team. So, bro, this narrative are crazy, bro. And if we keep following them, you'll be. You'll be spinning in a web of madness and lunacy. If you listen to every single rival and critic of Arsenal Football Club, it's crazy at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And that includes the internal ones.
No, it's mad. It's mad. Ugo Ekitike, everyone is shouting, claiming that, when he first started scoring goals, everyone was saying, this is the next best thing. And right now, he's just on 16. Yes,
we were also told, if I remember rightly, that when Liverpool signed Isak, they'd won the league comfortably because,
bro, they said they've won all titles, bro. Come on, man. Yes,
I'm going to give myself some credit for this one. I said I didn't think Liverpool were winning the league. I didn't expect them to be as bad as they are because their window was just lacked balance. It completely lacked balance. I literally did a video titled Liverpool sexy window versus Arsenal's pragmatic window, and I thought Arsenal's window was better because it was a more balanced window. Simple as that.
It's shocking, bro. It's shocking.
But equally, we have to finish it off. We have to. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. it doesn't matter whether the sun was good if you don't make it count for something.
Dom, literally, have you thought of how you will feel if we end up with no trophies this season?
No.
Have you thought of that scenario in your head?
I think it's I mean, I at that point you have to say, Mikel, thanks very much, but see you later.
No, it's not even about the manager. It's about you personally.
But yeah, I was going to say,
where is your headspace gonna be at that time?
Well,
how are you gonna be? How are you gonna feel? Are you gonna do streams? Would you have the courage to get up from bed? And
God, yeah. Look, I mean, ultimately, the reason I start with Mikel Arteta's got to go because I think that's kind of as far as I've got. It's not a scenario I waste energy on right now because it hasn't happened. So why would I clog myself down with negative thoughts? I think probably the lowest I felt was after that draw against Wolves. But I still did videos because, look, I'm not going to hide from it. My view is that I think Arsenal will win trophies. My view is that Mikel Arteta can win trophies. And look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you can't just go hiding because you've lost. So I'll still continue. Yeah, for sure. Will I be upset and disappointed? Absolutely. But I don't tend to waste time and energy on that right now because why? It hasn't happened. I'll worry about it if and when it happens, not now.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel, but that, that's why literally I've gone beyond what I've just said just now because I've invented that off the top of my head because you've asked the question. Beyond the manager will have to go if we don't win anything. I haven't wasted energy or time on it.
Definitely. Hopefully, we won't even think about that at
Hopefully
all.
not.
Hopefully not. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this show. 1 hour, 41 minutes, almost a 2-hour show. I can go on and on and on, but come on, people. Yeah, it's me and Dom. It's easy, it's cozy. Yeah, mostly when the chairs are cozy. Yeah, where we could just sit in a very cozy way and just keep answering the questions. But again, it is what it is. Enough for today. Dom, thanks for coming on to the show. And of course, tell us what you got coming up this week, my brother.
I will have a video tomorrow out on. It's either going to be. It might be double video day tomorrow. So one would be on my reflections post game because I haven't done it yet. Because I didn't have long between the game ending and this going on with sort of bedtime duties and what have you. So I think probably it'll be a double video day on that tomorrow. It's going to be that on this sort of set piece situation again, possibly, or possibly even on this media narrative, because I've just seen an Athletic article talking about how justice was done because of the wrestling that went in on the goal before the corner. Not talking at all, by the way, about David Raya being fouled, obviously. So I might do a second video on that tomorrow, but there'll be videos every day. Obviously, we'll build up to the Brighton game on Wednesday. I'm at that game.
I think it's on Thursday.
No, it's definitely
that game is on the 14th.
It's definitely no, Brighton is on 4th. It's definitely Wednesday. I'm at the game.
Sorry, 4th. Are we sure?
Well, I hope so because I'm going to it.
Yeah, you go to it. You will never forget that kind of a thing. Yeah, that's true. It's on the 4th. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's on Wednesday. So yeah, that'll be that sort of stuff. But I normally have a video most days. It's the odd day where I think I'd be putting a video out on something I haven't got anything to talk about. So, normally with Arsenal, it's something you can talk about. So therefore, there's a video most days.
Every time.
How about you, Tony? What have you got coming up?
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that game when you get there. I'll be looking at the TV set, hoping to kind of like find a needle in a haystack and just look for your face.
Just look for the little guy.
Don't please don't do that to us, bro.
Do you know what? My son is 10, right? And at the Arsenal Wigan game, someone sort of, the section I was in, everyone's standing up, and someone said to him, "Do you want to sit on the back of your seat? Then you can see." And I said, "Are you talking to me or him?" but I could see myself clear as day on the telly. So happy days.
See, people, thanks for joining us today. Dom, thanks for joining us today. And from me and Dom, people, we are out. Catch you guys next week. We'll be back on Thursday for our show together again, people. Catch you guys soon. Peace. One love, people. Safe.